Welcome to Access. I'm Nicole.
And I'm Ken.
And today we're doing Zechariah. And Ken, I think you have the history portion?
I sure do, Nicole. In Zechariah, we get, again, a fully apocalyptic book, much like the book of Daniel. Zechariah is written same time as Haggai, so we're back in this restoration period. The Jews have come out of exile. They are trying to rebuild and start over. And it's wonderful that we have Haggai written right next to Zechariah, because it gives you an excellent snapshot of a prophetic book and then an apocalyptic book. Written at the same time and about the same type of events, but holy cow, are these incredibly different kinds of books. As we've said before, prophetic books tend to be written from the perspective of power and influence, and they're written in unusual visions, perhaps, but they're written in straightforward ways that you can at least understand the vision. Apocalyptic books, on the other hand, apocalyptic means from the hidden. Apocalypso in Greek means to reveal, or something was hidden and now it's made manifest. It's clear. It does not mean destruction of the earth and giant cataclysm. That's what it's come to mean. In apocalyptic literature, it tends to be written by people that are feeling crushed down and hurt. They tend to look at the world in terms of good and evil, black and white, and they tend to use wild imagery and symbols that we believe made pretty good sense to them and their communities, but were hidden to the communities around them.
Oh my gosh, there's so many themes in this book. It's hard to winnow them down to these are the 3 things you should know, but I'm gonna try. You have the reversal of national fortunes. So the powerful are made low, the weak are raised up, and that makes a lot of sense. We're in post-exile, so Judah is feeling low, and so there's this hope that they will be raised up. That Yahweh is Lord of the earth and all the nations, so that's a key in the reversal of fortunes. And that Yahweh expresses Yahweh's power from the temple. That there's a dwelling place, a center for this power. And that leadership is shared between the high priest and the royal figure, who's going to be a Davidic figure. The branch. That's what it's called.
Hey, Twiggy. My name is Branch. Shut up.
And that there's going to be a new social and moral character to these people in this reversed state. And that God is really the sole actor of these things. Which is how all these reversals can take place. So those are the major themes.
Yeah, and especially that last one where God's in control. It's important for them, especially in apocalyptic literature, to assert that, because it feels like
they
God
have no control.
Right. And it feels like the entire world is spinning into chaos. And so there's this, there's a need then to note, God really is working behind the scenes here. We're really looking for that. We got the stories that you should know. One of the first ones in chapter 3, Joshua is the chief priest. So sometimes it's confusing with similar names, but Joshua is the chief priest, and there's a lovely, strange scene in which Joshua is lifted up into the council of angels, the angelic host. And there again is Hasatan, or the Satan, with all the other angels. And Joshua is being tried, being tested, and what happens is Joshua receives, he passes with flying colors, and he receives clean robes. And there's this sense of he's being purified and set apart and made well again. This is an image that of clean robes. This is an image that's going to come back in the book of Revelation, where people who have died on behalf of their faith received will receive new robes, or they're made clean in that case in a different way.
Right.
But clean robes, it's a symbol, it's a metaphor. For
the imagery is the same, but the meaning might be a little different.
Right. But outward cleanliness, it's mirroring inward purity too. So that's kind of the first thing you want to know that's going to come back.
The second is in chapter 6, and this is the branch. And this is where there's a vision of kind of this restoration of the Davidic line. And kind of this dual ruling between the priest and, I don't want to quite say monarchy, because it's not that, but a royal figure. And so this is where we really get that thrust of messianic hope. And it's very much an earthly bound political hope.
Yes.
About reestablishing Israel or Judah, or really just Jerusalem, as a great center of power and a place of respect, a holy city. They're all temporally bound.
And it will be a military king like David
and it will be,
was.
Yeah.
He killed his 10,000, Saul his thousands.
Yes, he is going to use bear jaws to defend sheep.
And this is why then in the New Testament times there's such a disconnect between the Christian community.
Right. Where they want Jesus, because they're projecting these ideas upon him as this messianic Davidic figure of political power.
And he's going to clean house and get rid of the Romans.
He's going to kick these Romans' hindquarters back to Rome. And so you'll see it, that they try to trap him in this.
And the disciples, as well as everyone else, I mean, it's hard to shake this image of the Davidic king in this military way. Yes. And Jesus ushers in this entirely different way of thinking about what it is to be a Messiah. Yeah, and that's why I really wanted to stress that it's not necessarily a monarchy here, but in that royal line. And so, third story? Third story is the vision at the end. And, this is when we get fully into the apocalyptic mode. It's called the Apocalypse of Zechariah. And he is imagining earthquakes that are shaking place. Water is actually pouring out of the land. The land is becoming a plain, a flat place. And then it says, the Lord will become king. So God actually establishes God's kingdom right in the heart of this place and will rule forever and ever. Nations that try to rise up against it will be put down, and people from the nations, so Gentiles, the ethne, who are friendly, are welcome to come in and worship. So it's actually, a really, it's an open vision, much like Isaiah's was. For a day is coming, and it's going to have tribulation and great trial, because the powers that be in the world don't give it up easily. But again, it's not a destruction of the earth and God destroying what God made, but it's establishing a kingdom where peace and justice and kindness are going to reign forever and ever, and people who want to participate in that are all going to have a place. And that's how Zechariah ends. It's this super hopeful.
So hopeful.
Yeah. I mean, when I get this feel of the prophets and apocalyptic prophets like this, they are the artists of the day, where our art, our musicians, they dream dreams. Martin Luther King, I have a dream. It takes people like that to envision what would it be like to be different than we are. Yeah. Because without that idea, of what's possible, we can't kind of make those small steps necessary. We can't chart out a path on how to get from here to the vision. Yeah, and we need realistic people who are concrete and make stuff happen. But we've got to have these dreams of, man, think of what it can be like, think of how much better it could be.